Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Meet the Coach here at the Coaching Tools Company. My name is Erwin de Graaf, CEO of the Coaching Tools Company. And I'm here together with Dr. Steve Jeffs, Director of Coaching of the Coaching Tools Company. And today we have the pleasure to talk to Beboi Lifanda. Hello, Beboi. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well, Erwin. And I must say, a long time subscriber of the Coaching Tools Company since 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, very cool. Very nice. So, B-boy, I think I always do. We could try to introduce you, but you're the best person who knows yourself much better than we do. So, who is B-boy? What does she does in coaching and related to coaching in her work?
So Beboi, basically a Cameroonian who lives in Senegal. I've lived here for quite a while now, maybe about 10 years-ish. And I work in the humanitarian sector, have worked there predominantly for most of my career, so 15 years now. But I've been working in the HR space for 20 years in total. And so, I think as an HR professional, a lot of what we do, coaching just sort of falls into it, but not all of us really understand there is a technique to it. And I was fortunate to actually start my experience within the sector in an organization that was really big on coaching. And, we had this entire training that was focused on coaching our managers and making sure they had the right skill sets to support employees. And that's where it piqued my interest. And I decided to um, do a certificate in coaching at the time because I understood it and I wanted to do that and I wanted to build that skill. And I did that through the University of Cape Town. So it was an online program for 6 months. And yeah, but when you're done, most of what my coaching has been through since then has been internal in the workplace with leaders and managers and colleagues and my peers, and never really was able to structure it in a sense because at the time people didn't really understand the concept of coaching. So when we spoke about it, they were thinking of football coaches. So I just sat on it for for quite a long time, but also really built on that skill. And that's why I joined, I had subscribed to the Coaching Tools Company, and I actually bought some of the toolkits and have used those as well in coaching sessions that I, have done.
Fantastic. And what is it about coaching that you love the most?
I think for me, it's very personal, as an African woman. So the ability, why I work with everyone and I will coach, wherever if somebody has an issue and somebody reaches out to me or where I have the opportunity to do so, I am very more intent about supporting women. And every time I'm able to, just activate or support somebody, to activate their potential, to just understand their purpose and do bigger and do better and reframe their questions, that they're asking themselves or just get out of the self-doubt. I think that's what makes me really happy that I'm able to do that and why I like coaching because I suppose how we're raised as Africans, but African women, I think there's so much of the imposter syndrome that we get is just from how we're raised. You're really brought up to not speak out, to be modest, not no self-promotion. So your place always feels like quiet, don't talk too much, you know, that's humility. If you're doing something very well, just stay in your place and kind of keep it quiet. And I all think that we sort of had that muscle to move forward and push ourselves as hard. And I have supported a lot of women to do that. And I have a lot of uh, people that I have supported who, started very like an intern and now is a leader in a big global organization. And yeah, that really inspires me.
What what does it mean for you as an African woman to be able to bring your coaching in service of other African women? Like there's a role model component there that feels, I don't know, I'm curious about what that means for you.
It means a lot to the representation. I think for me, when others are able to see me and what I do, not only as a coach, but at work as a professional, right? And even in the workplace, I try to make sure that my voice is a strong voice and my voice is an authentic voice, especially when you're working in a multicultural setup and it's a global organization. And sometimes you feel like you need to compromise your own authenticity and behave in a certain way. And I try to show you can still be you and you can still achieve, really big things for yourself, for your life, for your career, and still maintain that authenticity. And so for me as an African woman, the first thing is the representation. So I always make sure that I present myself in a way that others can see me and aspire to do that or be an example or a role model for other women. It's I think more and more we're getting that, the African women voices, it's a stronger voice now than it was before. And I really appreciate and enjoy seeing that when you're looking LinkedIn and, you get a lot more stronger female voices. Um, so I hope that as we are able to do that, for me personally, I want to be able to build that community of women through just coaching and storytelling and supporting them in their lives and career.
What are people thinking around? Certainly, because each continent has their culture and doing things. Coaching has gone from a long way. How have you seen the evolution of coaching in Africa, and how are people nowadays responding to it?
Wow, it's significantly changed from 2012, 2013, when nobody knew it and nobody understood it, and to where it is now, where I am part of a coaching group in Senegal. So I'm in this WhatsApp group, and they just did coaching week, Dakar coaching week, and I couldn't attend that, but I saw the number of participants, and it was over hundreds. And there's such a thirst now as people are also looking to build their careers and just navigate the global job market. I think social media technology has opened up this world more so than ever. So you have a lot more coaches and you have a lot more people who are interested in coaching, and particularly in the coaching, career coaching area where people want to grow. And I suppose another thing that really led to this evolution is COVID, right? When we were all at home and we're trying to figure doing different things, how do we do that? And spent a lot of time on the internet. And you would see that once we came out of that, we started to have a lot more, people doing coaching and a lot more interest and a lot more, people actually creating businesses out of it. And using LinkedIn, and those platforms to just put their voices out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you mentioned coaching tools before. What are your favorite coaching tools?
Favorite coaching tool, the rocking chair. Exercise. I have used that with a few people, and I think it's really a good visualization tool, right? So we tend to live in the moment, and once you use that and you feel like there's nothing stopping you, like if there was no hindrance and no barrier, like right where your life would be. And once you're able to put that and visualize it, you really, I think, move from there to start building systems and tools and the routines to help you establish goals to achieve that vision. So that's what I have seen when I have used it with others. And the personal SWOT analysis as well. We use it in businesses. And until I saw it as part of the toolkit, never used it before. And so when I got into it and I did it for myself, and I always try to test this with myself, for using it with others, and just getting people to that reflection exercise. Like even on the strengths, because our mindset probably wants to focus on the things that we are not good at, and helping people to really think about what are you good at, so that you can reinforce that. And it's good to, when you're using those tools, to go through that exercise and get them to process the strengths, their weaknesses, what the opportunities are, and just threats. So,
you mentioned a passion for career coaching and serving people as they grow in their careers. How do these tools help people gain more clarity or direction to, what was your phrase, activate their potential?
A lot of people, it's also very common. People just want a job. Yeah. So, especially in this part of the world, and I always tell people, don't just get a job, get a career. Figure out what are you good at, and that's why I use the personal SWOT analysis. But that's why I also use the rocking chair. Like, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? Because it's not just about the job and going into an office. A lot of people just want that. I just want to wake up in the morning and I actually go someplace. And it doesn't matter if I enjoy it or not, or it's anything meaningful to me, as long as I am working. And I think I'm helping people to also get out of that mindset of, it's not just about a job, because there's so many things you can do. You probably don't need to work in a government ministry. You can also set up a business. You can also figure out, what are those transferable skills that I have that I can put into something and eventually build that out. So I think the first thing is to get people there, because especially when because I'm working with a lot of mid-senior level, you get that. Within the workplace, you also have a lot of people who are not sure what the next step is in their career, like, where do I go? And people tend to feel maybe it should always be, a promotion, but people have to move up. And I said, not always. You could also be a lateral move, but you need to also figure out, what do I want? What am I passionate about? What are my goals for my career? And then figure out where the opportunities are in the organization and how you move into it. So it's a lot about creating, that direction, clarity, and getting people to understand what next, what their values are, what their purpose are, and how to just reframe, those stories that they're telling about themselves, and then realign better to their goals.
So if I understand, and I just want to ask you, so you work in HR, a lot of experience in HR. How do you make, when you talk to someone as an HR person, how do you make that switch to coaching, and how far are tools a good tool to make that switch from an HR focus to or more a coaching focus in the same conversation with someone?
So there's a lot of conversations happening, and with HR, you have to balance it. So there are times when you actually have to tell and just say, this is what you need to go and do, but it depends on the situation. A lot of time when it's very like a personal development thing, it could even be, I was talking to somebody once, it was just a time management issue. And for something like that, coaching mode comes in, right? And we go through, a lot of times they probably don't even know that that's what I'm doing. I'm not necessarily saying I'm coaching you, so coming for a session. But because I have, the reflex, I know that, okay, this person has the answer and they can manage this themselves. And I just need to orient them by asking them the questions. And we go through that. And what I have used as well, because I've done this in a lot of leadership and management trainings, is the GROW model. I think is the easiest. And so it's not just for me, because doing it as an HR professional, it's important that managers also build that skill. It's something that many managers do not have. And I say, as managers, you don't always have to have the answer. And I have used like very simple ways and techniques to show them. Sometimes people will come to you with a question, and maybe you don't have the answer, but you can actually work with them to find that answer themselves by using coaching. So it works for me, and it's also worked a lot when I have helped leaders and managers to also build that muscle memory in coaching.
I guess that's really cool. I hear two things in there that excite me. One is that coaching can have an impact that it can change the impact that our clients have on other people.
Yeah.
So it's the second level impact, and the coaching really is a leadership skill to be able to ask questions, to be able to listen, to be able to pay attention, to be able to let go of having to have all of the answers, and that you get to role model that and weave that into your interactions, knowing that especially in a workplace, coaching isn't the only way of being, and that if you're a coach all the time, you're missing out on other things. You can be coach-like, but it's different than being a coach. I think it's an important distinction. I love that.
Mm.
So, books. I'm surrounded by books, and we love books. Do you have any favorite or recent books on coaching that come to mind?
Not a book on coaching, but what I've been reading recently, and I have it around me here, it's this one, Change Your Questions, Change Your Life by Marilee Adams. And I didn't pick it up as a book on coaching, honestly, but I started to read it when I took it off my bookshelf. I think it was just the question thing. So I said, oh, okay, let me see this. And it really, I would say, underscores the power of inquiry in transformation. You know, the fact that growth starts with curiosity, and just the questions that you ask yourself really impacts the kinds of decisions that you also make and how you feel and how you think, and similar to the questions that you ask others. So it goes back to coaching, because I think the right or real transformation also starts with the right question. And once we're able to understand what those questions are, I think we can help a lot of people to transform, go through the transformation process.
Love it. Any insights or tips from the book that you can share?
Um, I believe that the listening part is key. Like, listening without judgment. That's moving from, your own personal bias and your own personal judgment. It's very important, especially for us as coaches. And one thing that I would say is, we talk about active listening, but I think sometimes even as coaches, we're just waiting to speak, and moving from that place of, oh, I know what I'm going to say, and I know the question, so I'm just waiting for you to finish. So, coming off and really being present and staying in that place and with that person to understand what they are going through, to be able to ask the right question.
Talking about
So,
questions, what is the most powerful question for you in a coaching session?
The most powerful for me is, from the very beginning, it's, what will success look like? I think once somebody, you're studying that very on, and the person is able to articulate what they want to get out of that session, what they want to come out, what the outcome will be, what they want to leave with, I think it helps to also just frame the rest of, the process. So I suppose I would put that as powerful for me. I'm trying to think if there's something else, but yeah.
No, that's cool. That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
So
what
good.
what's next for you as a coach?
What's next for me? It's been so much part of my day-to-day that I feel like it's always going to be part of what I am and what I'm doing. But what's next for me, it's really putting more structure into what I do as a coach. I think we're now in the continent in a good place where we have a lot more people doing it. We have a better understanding of it. And so it's now easier. Maybe I shouldn't have waited until it was in this place. I probably could have started as well. But yeah, so putting a lot more structure into what I do as a coach. And also, like I said, building this community. So while I work with different levels of professionals, my priority is women, and I really am looking to build this community of women as well, where I call it She Thrives, and hope that, it's something that cuts across the continent, and we can have this cycle where we have other women who can also support the younger ones as they're coming up in the career and just in life in general.
Is that something you've started, or is this a dream that you're wanting?
No, it's not so much a dream anymore. It is something that I am really starting to put together more. Yeah.
Mm. Cool.
What was the name of it again?
She Thrives.
She Thrives.
Yeah,
Oh,
She
that's really
Thrives.
cool.
Very
Yeah.
nice and
Because
inspiring name.
the thing is, we're always in survival mode, right? I feel sometimes people ask me, how am I doing? I say, I'm surviving, I'm not thriving. And I think for many of us, we find ourselves in this constant mode of survival, and we just are going with motions on a daily basis. So how do we also get ourselves to a place where we can say, I'm thriving? Because I am also putting the work to get to that place for myself. And I felt because I have put the work, I can see the difference that it's making, and I really want to support a lot more women within the continent to get to that place where whatever they're looking to do in their lives, that they also feel like they're thriving in it.
Good luck with
Exciting.
building this out. So and go, because it's really exciting. Listen
Yeah.
to it. Mm. Good. Beboy, we could probably continue talking for hours, but if people want to connect with you, what's the best way they can do this?
LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, so they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and yeah, I'm happy to engage with anyone who
I
needs.
love it.
And I also have been working with a lot of people who've just been referred to me by others. So happy to do so if anybody wants to reach out.
I love it. And if people have questions or want to find a way they can support She Thrives, is that the best way for people to connect with you as well?
Yeah, but I am also trying to build this platform. So it's something that is going to be out in the next couple of months. So working towards that. It's just been a bit difficult managing everything, with a full-time job. But I always try to create a space for that, weekends, evenings. This is where I put my time now, because I believe why I also encourage people to do those things that they're passionate about and that gives meaning to them, but that I'm also putting the same amount of time, energy, focus. So I'm going to get that done very soon.
So it sounds like uh, keep watching. Something's going to happen soon.
Watch the space.
Watch this
What's
space.
this
I
thing?
love
Watch
it.
the space. And I suppose, because I'm part of the mentor program that you both lead. And that's another reason why I'm there. And if you notice, even sitting in those calls with everybody else, the questions that I ask is just to also make sure that I'm doing it correctly and I'm really taking from the experiences of others. It's such a great learning experience sitting with everybody else who, they have been in this for a long time. They have established businesses and everything. So hearing their story, their experiences, their challenges is also really been, for me, a good way to move forward with what I want to do. The contexts are different, which is also very interesting, but the challenges are the same, very much so.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for creating some time for us to connect with you today. We've loved having this conversation, and we'll definitely be watching this space to see what keeps emerging.
Thank you, and I will keep you posted.
Okay.
Yes, okay, take care.
Thank you, Beboy.
Bye.
Bye.